Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me today on the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. Today I have a really fun card using some products from Sizzix and Alexis Trimble. It's the In the Meadow set of dies, which is all these beautiful wildflowers, and then there's also a set of floral vessels. And I'm going to be making a mini slimline card today with you, but I will have several examples using all of the vessels at the end of the video. So I've gone ahead and I've already cut out all of the flowers, or a bunch of the flowers that I thought I might want to use in this card. And the great thing about how Sizzix does their dies is they have the pieces together on one die so that it's really easy to keep them matched up. And then the vessel that I'm going to use is a little jar piece. And so I've cut out duplicates of the flowers I want to use, because when I'm making flowers I love to stack them to give them more dimension and more realism, I guess you could say. So I'm going to start out using the Distress Oxide. I am using some Hammermill cardstock for these, and Distress Oxide. So I'm going to start out with Victorian Velvet, and then on the middle of that flower I'm going to use Seedless Preserves, and then there's also going to be a middle die piece for the middle of the flower that is going to be in Mustard Seed. But I'm going to go ahead and take my blending brushes and color those up. I will also color the piece that's going to be in the background, because it will be lifted a little bit. The top flower will be lifted a little bit, and that background will peek through slightly. And so I'm just going to color really lightly on that second piece that's going to be layered. And so when I am creating die cut flowers, I like to use my hands to just kind of bend the paper at the creases that are already there, scored using the die. You can also use kind of a flower shaping kit, those tools with the little balls on. I don't happen to know where mine are at the moment, but I usually use my fingers. And then I'm going to add a little dot of glue to that back piece and adhere the top piece on there. And then I just move it slightly so that it's not exactly even. The top piece isn't exactly even with the bottom piece. And then I'm taking a foam square and I'm just going to cut that in half and add one little piece under two areas just to keep those flowers popped up a little bit. And of course, for the flowers, you can really use anything as your decoration, whether that's using pattern paper to cut them out, solid colored cardstock. There's really so much versatility when you have die cuts in how you would like to create your flowers. So I've created all of my flowers, and the colors that I used are milled lavender, dusty Concord, spun sugar, and worn lipstick for all of the flowers. And then for the stems I used peeled paint and shabby shutters. And then I'm going to go ahead and create my mini slimline card. This is 3.5 by 6. The card base is 3.5 by 6. And I have this really pretty pattern paper in my stash that I'm going to go ahead and adhere to a piece of brown cardstock, and then that entire panel will be adhered to my mini slimline card. I really enjoy making mini slimline cards, not so much slimline cards. I don't know why. I think it's just the vertical space sometimes gives me pause. But here is the little vase that I'm going to be using. And I took a die from my heart die from my stash and created a little window. I am not making a shaker card, but I am going to put some little embellishments through the back behind that little heart. And so I am adding a little bit of 1/8 inch foam to the bottom of that vase die cut. And then I'm going to take my little blue jewels, and I have added a little bit of liquid adhesive for those to adhere. And then I just check it every once in a while to make sure that the entire space is filled where that heart's going to show through. I did take a piece of plastic packaging and adhere that over the heart just to I just, for effect, I guess it serves really no purpose other than just to serve as a window. And then I will add a little bit of liquid adhesive over the top of that foam, and then adhere that top piece. And I made sure not to put foam at the very top because I am going to insert the flowers into the vase. You could definitely add foam to the back of this and insert the flowers behind, but to add a little bit of a character, I'm also adding a little piece of raffia, I think it is actually, and I'm just going to wrap that and knot that around the kind of the top of the vase. I'm sorry. I apologize for my voice and everything. I am a little bit under the weather. So I am also going to add some foam to the back of the entire piece, the entire little jar piece, and then I'm going to start just adding my flowers. I don't glue the stems down. Actually, I am gluing the actual flower part. That's the part that I want to make sure is secure, and I just make sure that the stems are not going to poke through and show through that heart. So anything that does, I'll go ahead and trim that off. And I also did not leave or add a sentiment to this card or any of the cards that I show you today, just because I wasn't really sure the occasion that I wanted to use this for, and so I wanted to keep it open. And so here are the other some of the other flowers. I really love this light bulb. This is from the Floral Vessels, which is where the jar die cut comes from. So I used a piece of pattern paper for that. I used a piece of pattern paper for this basket and these bluebell flowers. And then the last card is this cute little teacup with a few little flowers poking out of that. And that's going to be my project for today. I hope you enjoyed. This was super fun to create, as I mentioned. Don't forget to subscribe to the Scrapbook Pal YouTube channel. We've always got lots of awesome videos. I wanted to thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope to see you next time.